we're so fortunate to be here in the salad bowl of the world, where it's truly amazing. Any time of the year, you can really just look around to what we're standing in front of today, and you see a patchwork of different colors and landscapes that make our valley so spectacular. Not only is it visually appealing, but it also makes a difference in how we're planting our bountiful crop selection. One of the things that I'm most proud about in the Salinas Valley is the fact that we've been producing here sustainably for generations upon generations. And really the diversity of crops and how we treat the land with regards to soil health and resource usage, whether it's crop inputs or water, is truly reflective of the ever-changing landscape in the valley.
Salad Bowl of the World goes back when the pioneers of the valley put lettuce on the rail train and filled it with ice, and hence made the iceberg. So that's where the valley came a legend. And now you see many different kinds of crops, whether it's livestock, lettuce, seed crops, bees, berries, raspberries, caneberries, just an amazing amount of agriculture that's here.
The reason that Monterey County agriculture has such a high score on the Economic Diversification Index is partly because it grows so many different crops, a large number of categories. But also, the other half of that is that the economic value is well distributed across these categories. It's not all stacked in one or two crops.
The things that we have access at Rancho Cielo Youth Campus is a wonderful array of fruits and vegetables and many different agricultural products. So right now in the springtime, we're using very seasonal things like artichokes, asparagus, strawberries, English peas, radishes, beets, all those things. But we also are very fortunate to have access to really great livestock that's raised right here in the Salinas Valley, as well as dairy, Schock family right down the street. And Rancho Cielo being such a unique place, we also keep bees and have a garden of our own. So we've got some of the best access to agricultural products that I've ever had the privilege of working with. Having access to those products in the kitchen just allows us kind of full spectrum of creativity.
The Salinas Valley is able to be as diverse as it is because of the weather, the water, the labor source we have here. With those in full force, we're able to continue to bring more commodities here that we can keep the Salinas Valley alive and growing with its diversity.
Diversity is really important when it comes to your crop selection and just what you see in the Salinas Valley. You know, you always want to be hedging against any potential large-scale issues. And, diversity isn't putting all of your eggs in one basket. Having, a diverse crop selection that you can appeal to customers with, but also to be offering the consumers. At the end of the day, the Salinas Valley is so beautiful because really when you think about the grocery store and the outer edges of the grocery store that everybody's shopping, the fact that you can pretty much find anything from your fresh fruits and vegetable section, to your protein section, to your dairy section, and of course to the wine section is really amazing when you think about all those products are coming from Monterey County.
Economic diversification is important because it's like an insurance policy against risks. Ask anybody in the agricultural community, they can tell you a long list of risks that they worry about. They worry about droughts, they worry about diseases, new outbreaks of pests, new regulations, even pandemics. All of these things can undermine their agricultural industry. And so when you have a well-diversified agricultural industry, it's like an insurance policy against all of those risks.
It's amazing the amount of technology that's taking place in our county with people trying to overcome challenges, whether it be water, conservation, labor shortages, and so forth. So the amount of people that are reaching out to farmers with technology is amazing. Again, creating another layer of diversity when it comes to removing weeds and pests and cutting back on fertilizer and water conservation.
The Salinas Valley Salad Bowl of the World landscape has really changed. When you talk about the early 1900s, it was more of a region that was dedicated to cattle grazing, sugar beets, a lot of bean crops. And now we've really seen a shift to more leafy green production, a lot of berry production. You know, there's still your grazing land for the protein of the world. We've definitely seen an uptick in vineyards and grape production. But it's interesting, as the crop report shows this year, but also in previous years, it's an ever-changing climate, and it's really dependent on not only what the consumer-driven ideas are and needs, but also what the environmental needs are of this county.
What we've seen is because Monterey County agriculture is so economically diversified, when bad things happen, like droughts or diseases or floods or even a pandemic or wildfires, the drop in agricultural production is less than it would be otherwise because of the strong economic diversification. And on the other side of the coin, because the county's agricultural industry is so diversified, the recovery is quicker. The industry is more resilient to these economic shocks because it's so diversified. It bounces back faster.
Having that wide diversity just really increases your ability as a chef to always land something that's really impressive for your guests. And of course, you know, sharing those things with the students is always great for helping to inspire them to want to cook and want to experience new things.
We love working with the ground, utilizing water, and take pride in producing a great crop.
Farmers really have my heart. There is no more generous people and community players than farmers, and I really appreciate all that they do for us and for our whole community.